What's up, Denny? How you doing, man? Sure. What's up, Dank? How you doing, bro? Pretty wild. What happened? What's been going on? What's up? How are you? You trip? The face. It's good to have boundaries for sure, because I don't play that when it comes to family members either, especially if they're trying to manipulate you or they try to blame you for things that are going wrong when it's their fault. It's all good. No worries. You got to rephrase. I wouldn't apologize either, just because it's their fault. This music is nice. You freaking buzz. Mhm. Absolutely. With you, sorry. Yeah, I am. What's up, Fluffy? How are you? 10. Currently for like readings on here, they're 10. I haven't read in a while. I haven't read like public books in a while. Yeah, I have. Mhm. I've actually done that before. I did that when I was practicing with initiating into. Oh yeah, I did that when I was actually initiating into utilizing Kujikuri and Kujian. You get to a point where when you are working with a Rudraksha, a mala, how to Rudraksha mala, pretty much after you self-initiate into it, it's okay. Don't mind my dogs; they're in the background fighting. But pretty much you initiate into it, and you get to a point after you're done with the initiation where you permanently just feel this crazy state of bliss. I find it very effective. Yes, um, it's extremely effective for a lot of things. Yeah, you can shoot it to Cash App. That's fine. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal doesn't matter. As she jumped up his back, she jumped from the way that it looked from up here. Nice. Thanks for the love. I appreciate you guys. Really? How was that? Sounds cool. I got it. What's your question? What's up, nigga? Ignis. Oh shit. Yeah, you can. No problem. It's a good thing I'm black. For real, 'cause that's a crazy slip up. It's the name, yo. Okay, no problem. Give me 1 second. Uh, Mike, you literally can do that. You can write wealth. You can use the kanji of wealth, things of that sort. I would use kanji because that is what is connected to Kujian. It's the strongest like resonance. So if you're going to utilize it in that way. But yeah, you can definitely do that and write it over the grid. Let's see. Let's see, Dank Wizard. Have a look. Yeah, I think you're doing good. Um, you're very patient when it comes down to your practice. That's a really good thing. It may seem like the results aren't happening like as quickly, but you're getting good results. I'm not exactly sure if you're working on manifestation right now, but it seems like that's what you're working towards. Like you're wanting to see, um, you're wanting evidence of that. But you're very patient when it comes down to it, so that's a really good thing. Nice. Well, just be true. I mean, as with anyone that you approach, be true, be honest, and keep your word. It's all about keeping your word. You learned a lot from him in a year. It was really cool. Very, sorry, very heavily connected to your shadows. So it was really awesome. I liked working with him. Soothing, really peaceful. deep because he also was working strong in like my dream states too. Can you give me a minute? Is there glitter on there? I was gonna say, I don't want any glitter on my damn face. You are doing enough. That's okay. That's pretty cool. You can, if you want, you can throw the headphones on. Mm-mm. It's very hidden. Yeah. So, you guys have plans for Halloween? You guys like Halloween? Hmm. That's a good way of putting it, Ignis. No plans? Really? One night of trick or treating? That's crazy. It's my favorite. This is literally my favorite time of the year because there's so much lore around it. There's so many different things to do. The energy, completely shifts compared to the other seasons. I fucking love it. It's so fun. There's so many things to do. It's nice. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. I found work with him to be a lot more simplified when utilizing mirrors. So, Ignis, if you have a mirror or if you can make a black mirror and consecrate it, give it to him. It'd be a good idea. He works very well with mirrors and manipulation of shadows. Probably play Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's funny. I heard it was a good game too. Okay. Yeah, for real. I really want to go to I really want to go somewhere that's actually scary. I want to go to a real haunted house if I can. That would be really fun. I don't know what's close to here, but that's what I want to do. Are you talking about the decorations? Yeah, my girl, she loves to decorate. She's very festive. Looks really nice. This one, this one's so accurate. That's why I sat right here. I like that. Because you're a mortist. Ignis, yeah, this is what I would say. Get rid of that. Um, I'm saying get rid of it. Like, you know how to actually do that. I would ask them, or I would ask enthusiasts to help you get rid of it. You can ask to understand those kind of emotions more when you're in the presence of them. Like you can just ask for advice, ask for them to show you, or ask for them to purge you of those things. That's something that you can give to them, like as a sacrifice in exchange for something. They have seen it all. Literally, there's so many people from all over the world, different countries, shit, maybe even different planets that want to come in contact with them, that will call on them. So they've definitely seen it all, heard it all, experienced it all, for sure. If I'm scanning anyone, the questions are 10 bucks. That's all right. Good, good. Damn, that's pretty cool though. Did you get attacked in that dream? Uh, Dang wizard. And the only reason why I say that is because there's energy that's coming out of it. Like it's like seeping out. Like there's an open wound right there. No? Because there's energy that's seeping out. I just see it coming out of it. Right? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. or a lot of messages, there's a lot of things that come with that. Well, I mean, first I would ask, Jim, why do you want to manage them? Fuck this. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, sorry. Literally, when I was in the middle of it, I got a phone call. I was just taking that phone call. But what I'm being shown is you connecting to rose quartz, like getting a obelisk of rose quartz if you can, and connecting yourself to it and pulling that energy into you. That's what it's doing. Pulling that into your heart space. Rose quartz is really good for that. You can patch up that area in regards to where the energy is coming from your heart because it seems like it's like seeping out. So you can utilize rose quartz. You can ask for assistance from someone to tell you how to do it the right way. Yes, that is a good sign. Good. It is a good thing. Fluffy, I don't think I do. Oh, going into the process of go into them, get an understanding of it. When it plays back or if there's attachments, look at it, watch it, learn exactly, why you're experiencing it, why you feel that, why you feel the way that you do when it comes to those particular events or the situations from the past. Go into it to understand. You gotta go into it to actually get rid of it. Watch it, go into it, and then release. Because it's not necessarily a bad thing to experience those things or to have them come up or to feel the way that you do when it comes down to certain memories. It's a good idea to actually go into them, feel them, understand yourself at that point in time. Because you can harness those particular types of feelings and energies to power work that you do, to power meditations that you might be doing, to, you know, really, you name it. You can do a lot with those kind of things. Mhm. It is interesting when you think about it that way. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it is, right? Yeah, pretty peaceful. Enjoy. Horse just came in. What was it like? Really interesting. Um, it was very cool. It helped with me get an understanding of how people's shadows work, how you can interact with those particular shadows, and like how to communicate with them, pretty much get them to do what it is that you to get people to do what it is that you want. It was really fascinating. That was really fun. Plus, he really he went in when it came down to giving me a better understanding of mirror magic and what mirrors are utilized for. Really, in his means, what exactly he likes to utilize them for. I thought it was really cool, very empowering. Definitely, as I worked with him more and more down the line, it felt more physical. His manifestations felt more physical to the point where it actually felt like I could touch my shoulder. It's pretty cool. That was some good stuff. Really fun in the past. Well, fine triggers. Yeah, fine triggers. I am. How are you? Find triggers inside of your dreams. That's what's going to help you to achieve lucidity. You're going to find things that don't make sense. Find things that don't make any sense. That's what's going to help you to actually take over. That's fine. I'm not worried about it. How are you, hum? Who else is in here? You guys are just lurking? That's good. It's good to hear. How's it going? I've never really did much work with them or looked through them. I've not really looked into them. I'm not even gonna lie to you. What's up, Selena? How you doing? Good day, good day. That's cool. I've really experienced it. I've never really delved into that or looked into it per se, so I wouldn't know what to expect. Mm, that's something that I don't really know too much about. Not too much about those things. But I definitely wouldn't say it's BS, especially to someone who's a serious practitioner that knows what they're doing. The ones that know what they're doing, they know what exactly that is. I've not really practiced with it or done it, so I don't know exactly what that actually entails. But I do know that it brings many benefits for sure. It helps with a lot of things, especially because of the energy that it's specifically dedicated to. Is that better? Or is it still low? I know why. Hold on. There we go. Yeah. 'Cause my headphones, they won't connect. They connect to this thing and then they just like shut off. So it's really, really annoying. Is that better? Okay, good. Cool. She looks bad. She looks like she's a badass kid. Well, I haven't really read them. So I don't know. I don't know what to think of them. I haven't really read any of them. What's it like? Mm, when I was working with her, it was really cool. She worked with me in a lot of dreams, as I've said in my previous videos. She taught me the understanding of blood magic, what it's utilized for, how to harness the power from your own blood, understanding the use of spirits, wine, things of that sort. Like, there's a lot of different things that she helped with. but it's like a huge there's a huge community. So it feels like you meet all these people that feel like family because they're connected to her. It's just a huge community. There are a lot of spirits that are connected with her. Uh, Obviously, you're going to move closer to the energies of death. Like you will be more, you'll have a stronger affinity for working with those kind of energies in connection to her, working with her. And she also is really good at like, honing your abilities and communicating with you through the means of utilizing your abilities that are coming through the strongest, the more dominant abilities. She's awesome with that kind of stuff. Um, I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily impolite. It's just a matter of you have to understand, how it works. So you can ask them to do so, but they're going to choose whether or not they so wish to do, that. What can I share about him? What do you want to know? Oh, Marvelous. Yeah, I met Marvelous when I was making a pact with Lucifuge, Rofocale in the past. And I came to understand that Lucifuge, he turned down quite a few of my advances when it came down to creating a pact or approaching him and talking to him. He turned down my pact 3 times before I even actually had one accepted. And the way that I was able to have the pact accepted was to have it rewritten and like created and consecrated the proper way via the instruction of Marvis, because Marvis is one of Lucifuge's kings. He's the one that appears and comes forward. He speaks on his behalf if someone isn't, necessarily ready to communicate with Lucifuge yet, because Lucifuge is intense. So, there's a lot of preparation that you need to do before you get to that point of being able to communicate with someone like that. And yeah, so he pretty much just came forward and got me prepared, got me in the right mental health, not mental health, but he got me in the right mental and headspace to be able to write something out, understand exactly what I was writing, get a true understanding of what the conditions were like when you're making a pact with someone like Lucifuge, how he was going to be interacting with me, how he speaks, really what he thinks like, and how I need to present myself in regards to communicating with him. Because it's a little more difficult to communicate with the kings and, be around them if they're more, if they have just more darker facets or aspects. They're a little more difficult to deal with because of the fact that there are people who just aren't used to that kind of energy or that essence. So it changes you. It can change you as a result. So you prepare. So pretty much that's what he did. He helped me to actually prepare for meeting him, to understand that there were going to be things that I needed to make decisions on my own, because Lucifuge was tricky when it came down to certain things. Um, he tested me. I was put through trials with him. There's a lot of things that he did to help me prepare for meeting Lucifuge. And I worked with Lucifuge and what was going to happen when I was doing my dedications, my devotions to him. Pretty much, he prepared me for those kind of things. How to, what did he say? How to present yourself like a king. How to live like a king. How to embody the essence of a king, and how to have spirits recognize you as such. Working with him in the past, I wouldn't say working with him is beginner friendly. And the reason why I say that is because he likes to test you. He likes to trick you. He likes to see if you know or understand your own shadow. There'll be a lot of aspects, a lot of pieces, a lot of parts of communicating with him and connecting with him that are going to be connected to your shadow. And he plays games with things like that. He likes to see if you understand which energies are connected to you and which energies are outside of you. Those that are not a part of who you are, that are not you, that are not aspects of you, or are aspects of you. Most of the time, he's going to be testing aspects of you and seeing if you understand what those aspects are, what they look like, how to go about um, passing his trials, how to go about understanding. There's literally just how to go about understanding what it takes to like fully know yourself. It's hard to explain it, but he's he's harsh. I'm not even going to lie to you. He's harsh in his teachings, and he's extremely like he's extremely blunt. He's straightforward. So, say if you think you're getting results, or or you think you're doing a good job, or things like that, he will make sure that your ego is under control. He'll make sure that that shit is deflated. That's what I liked about him too. He'll check you on those kind of things. Like right off the bat, when I first started communicating with him, he was like, "You need to understand that when it comes to this type of work, when it comes to you communicating with beings like me, like us, everything that you do needs to be done proper, needs to be the right way. You need to be efficient. You need to make sure that you're not cutting corners. You need to make sure that all of this lines up." One second. He's very straightforward, but he's not going to praise you or salute you or anything like that, if that makes sense. He's just straight to the point. Well, that's what I mean. It's a matter of him testing you. Because what ends up happening, like when I first initially started to connect with him, he he started to watch me. When Marbles came, Lucifuge started to just watch me, and I could feel someone like lurking in the shadows. I couldn't really identify him because he hides himself very well. I just knew that there was a presence there, though. I could feel him. So you probably did get in contact with him, but they communicate in completely different ways, depending on what abilities are more dominant within you. Which ones are open, which ones are stronger. That's what's going to actually determine how they're going to communicate with you. What's going to be the easiest way to communicate with you. But he'll also do that because he likes to test you. He likes to test people. He fucks with you to see if you understand that he's fucking with you. Like how I was explaining in the past, he literally told me to kill something that was a part of me. But if I didn't understand that part of myself and I didn't know what it looked like already, I would have probably killed that part of myself and brought serious harm to myself. That's how he is. And he doesn't give a fuck. Mm, that's a good question. Um, Give me one second. See, I'm gonna look at Dank because he sent a this one. Let me see. Well, I don't know exactly what it is that you have next to you, but to the left side of you, it's like there's a door right there. Um, Dank. So, but all I see is like smoke coming from this door. But it's like you didn't close something. There's something that you didn't properly close, or um, as if there's like unfinished business with something or someone. But it's a door. There's a door next to you. That's what I see. And that has a lot to do with what's going on because that energy is seeping into you, and you are like it's seeping out of that door and it's going into you, it's hitting you, and it's affecting you. Seems like that's something that you did close for sure. Okay. Oh, absolutely. Give me 1 second, Sona. Let me read Nexie's. Uh, well, Dank, it's a red face with horns. Um, are you practicing with mediumship abilities, or trying to get an understanding of possession? Because uh, that's what I feel like this is strongly associated with. Mm, Nancy, I would say, um, let me, because I'm going back into what it was like when I was working with them. Mm, I would just say Asmodeus. I really liked Asmodeus, and the reason why is because King Asmodeus is very protective. Like when you start working with him or you're devoted to someone like him, he's very protective. Like he'll watch over you. He won't just watch shit happen to you. King Paimon, not so much. Like he'll test um your protections. He'll test your, like your ability to identify enemies, if that makes sense. Asmodeus, with me, like in my experience, I'm only speaking about these things in regards to my experience. Asmodeus was just very fucking like straightforward and did not give a fuck. If you were devoted to him, he's like, I got you. I'll make sure you're good. Because even in dreams, when it came down to certain things coming up to me, approaching me, trying to talk to me, like when I achieved lucidity, he did not play that shit. When it came down to like nightmares or things like that that would happen, he would be right there. He doesn't play that shit. He's very like he's he's right there. He's one that like can manifest. He's one that literally is in your reality when you call on him. If that makes sense, he becomes a part of your reality and he'll make sure you're good. King Paimon's another tester. He tests you. He likes to play. Like he likes to play with certain shit like that, testing like you and seeing if you can defend yourself, if you know how to protect yourself, if you know how to identify when someone's lying to you, if you know how to identify tricks, things like that. Paimon has that trickster aspect to himself that's like really fucking it's harsh. His like working with him, connecting with him and to him is harsh. He's a harsh teacher. It's fun, don't get me wrong, and it's really awesome because you get these random experiences with people that are connected to him, like his People who are truly devoted to King Paimon that have worked with him in the past or do work with him heavily, they will find you and you connect with them and it's in the weirdest ways. He's another one that uh, has like a strong like sense of community, if that makes sense. There's a lot of practitioners that are devoted specifically to him that know how to find others that are connected to him. Hyman also is very, amazing when it comes down to you utilizing familiars, but understanding how to go into those familiars and communicate with other spirits through them or influence the world around you through them. He's beginner friendly, but he's very difficult to understand when it comes down to things that he's teaching, especially when you're working with shit like that. It's a lot more difficult to transfer yourself into another like sentient creature than to envision yourself as becoming that, if that makes sense. Because you can visualize yourself becoming these things all day long. What is a lot more difficult is transferring your consciousness into something completely different and possessing those things. That is what King Paimon does. That's what he rules over. And all sorts of different types of animal spirits and familiars and understanding how to utilize them to communicate with the world around you, getting an understanding of different worlds and planes, traveling with those particular things as a means to move into those different worlds, understanding like glamored areas and pathways, and understanding if someone is glamored, understanding if there's shit that's been done to you, if there's magic being done to you, if someone's manipulating you, um, how to defend yourself against like angelic magic. Like that dude is fucking crazy when it comes down to those kind of things. Awesome, seriously, but very, very harsh. A very harsh and unforgiving type of teacher. Because you either swim or you drown when it comes down to him. When I initiated, into the cliff off, and I was going through what was that one? Um, Nema's spear, which was what, the Black Earth. I literally was about to fucking like I experienced myself dying inside of this vision. Like I'm drowning, I'm panicking, there's something pulling me down. Very interesting because of the fact that that is some shit that had happened to me in real life. So she played on that and I was reliving it in this Clifothic spear. And King Paimon came and literally did not tell me how to get out of it, but just told me to trust in what he taught me in the past. And I literally utilized specifically that because he showed up there as a guide for me and it helped me get through it. But ultimately, in that particular, like that time, in that vision, I actually died when I was in that water because I panicked so much I drowned. So I came out completely different. And that's when I met Neymar. But you earn his you have to earn his loyalty. Paimon will just watch from the sidelines for a while until until you fucking get a better understanding of how he gets down. Very, very testy, like very testy. Will push your limits to the extreme. And he's another one that's very physical too, but like I said, he just watches. Bereath was another one that just watched. He just watches. Who was that? Oh. Okay, we'll say that. We'll say that. That's how. Let me see. Your magic isn't working well. I'll look into it for you. I'll scan that. Um, you can send me a payment for it. I'll look into it. Like I'll actually have a thorough look and give you like something that's tailored specifically to you. King Belial. Belial was not harsh, but very. When I was working with King Belial, I started to learn more about like martial arts and understanding possession and working with spirits of like monks and the dead that are working with the dead that practice martial arts heavily in their life, who devoted themselves to martial arts, to understanding fighting, utilization of weapons, cutting through the veil, things of that sort. Like he was that kind of energy. Um, Full blown possession when it came down to working with King Belial. Uh, I wouldn't say his. mm, I wouldn't say he was harsh. Not to me per se. There were different ones that were harsh to me. He was more uh, disciplined, if that makes sense. Very disciplined, very by the book when it came down to things that he taught. He's very by the book, very specific about steps that he wants you to take and things that he wants you to understand. He will have you doing things multiple times to get an understanding of them, like a real martial artist. That is how King Belial was. He's another one that worked heavily with the shadows as well. And I noticed that his domain was very strongly connected to that of, the police in militarized forces and things of that sort. He was very heavily connected to those things and started to give me an understanding of how to work around those things, how to keep myself from encountering the wrong end of those things, manipulation of those kind of things of that sort. King Belial is he was heavily um, oriented to into that particular type of thing. Even when it came down to things that I had asked him for, being different than what exactly it is that he taught me, he teaches you what you need to fucking know. Put it that way. Like he can see who you are, he knows your origins, he can teach you about those parts of yourself that you you know that you don't really know yet. That's how he is. Very stern, very disciplined, very poised, very on point when it comes down to things, but extremely fucking just knowledgeable in everything that has to do with those kind of regards. Not really, Matthias. Not really. What's up, Miko? How you doing? Um, Initiation into the tree of death, I would say just make sure that you are prepared for what it is that you're getting yourself into. Everything that you think you know about the occult, just completely empty your mind when it comes down to approaching the cliff off. Just completely throw out everything that you think you know. That's what I'll say. Because you're gonna experience things on the spectrum of fear, of like if your phobia is still having to do with fear, your anxiety, pain, like there's a lot of things that are going to come forward as a result of that. There's going to be so much shit that's connected to like trauma from your past, your relationships, your every aspect of your life has a direct connection to a spear within the cliff off, and they play on that shit with you. Like they will play on those things in your life if you were not ready to work through that specific tree. It can be very dangerous too because you can get put into some dangerous situations as a result of that as well. So take your time when it comes down to working with things like that because that shit is serious. It's real. It's serious. It's very beneficial when you move through it and you're done. But that shit is not something that I would recommend to people who are beginners. So if someone's a beginner, I don't recommend that at all. Period. Like I don't recommend people getting into that shit until you're at least like 3, 4 years into this shit, where you have an understanding of your abilities and who you are, and you know that you understand fucking glamour, that you understand when someone's fucking with you, when they're playing with your head, when there are spirits around you, because those spirits bring shit into your reality that are connected to that kind of stuff. You know, say if you're going through one of the spheres that is like that is connected to, what is that? Where is Lucifer connected to? What was it? Was it Thigurion? Well, he's about to be fucking playing with animation of shadows around you and testing you when it comes down to shit like that. Fucking with you. They fuck with you. They will literally fuck with you to see if you can defend yourself when you're opening yourself up to those kind of energies. Like, when I tell people that this shit is not a game, like, it's not a game. There are people out there that would have that that give advice and they'll say shit and put information out there, whatever. People hype it up to be something that it's really not. Because this shit is not a game. This is not shit that you play with. This shit is not. This is not shit that you do on the side for fun. This isn't shit that you dabble with. This is shit that is serious. And if you're really devoted to this shit and you want to live that way, and you really want to be an occultist, that's exactly what the fuck. Yeah, Satario. Yeah, I forgot. I haven't worked with the Cliff Author in a while, dude. Like it's been quite some time. Um, yeah, but as you can see, I was like literally thinking about it because I have not worked with it. Uh, but literally, this shit's not a game. This is not any. This shit is dangerous. This shit can put your family in danger. It can put the people around you in danger, your friends, put you into dangerous situations because they're fucking testing you to see if you understand your intuitive ability. Lucifuge like that. Like you could be somewhere. I'll give you an example of how he is, and how fucking King Paimon is, because they're very similar when it comes down to how they are when they test you. You could be somewhere and it seems safe, it seems fine, but you'll hear something that's telling you that something isn't right in the area, right? And that something is a warning that something's about to get shot up in the area that you're in. If you don't understand that, or you don't like, and you don't listen to your intuitive ability, that's the kind of situations you can get put into. They fuck with you like that. That's what I mean. They play with people. People who aren't ready, who don't understand this shit, they will play with you. They will fuck with you. They will fuck you up. This shit is serious. The Cliff Author is serious. That shit's not called the Tree of Death for no reason. The author's crazy. Yeah. Started learning a lot of crazy new shit when I worked with that. I ended up getting alignment to it and made some interesting, fucking insane discoveries in that one. That one was crazy. Mm, would I say it's best to work with for beginners? Oh no, 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 Logan. That's perfectly fine because I believe that actually might be the one. Like I said, I haven't worked with that shit in a few years. It's been a while. I've not paid attention to it, so you don't gotta apologize, bro. I'm not really worried about it. Um, Nancy, I mean, people who are like more of work with the ones that are more gentle in their nature. Yeah, Vipar's, you know, surprisingly very patient. Um, Cameo worked with someone like you know Bonet. Bonet is awesome when it comes down to those things too. Then you can work with those like Lord Bilal is awesome, for beginners too. He's very patient as well. Osteroth is great with when you're working with beginners as well. Mm, there are some of the kings that are more, kind to those that are, newer to the practice. There are a lot of them that are really fucking harsh though. Berith was really cool too. Let me see. Malphos, Malphos Marbus. Um, Moloch was really cool. A lot of them are very chill. A lot of them are very chill. A lot of them are like calm and just patient. There are others that would just kind of fuck you up because they see things in you and then they feel like you're ready, but you're not in reality ready at all. Let me see. Hold on, Matthias. What can you do to revisit the door you opened? I would. Let me see. Well, mm, I wouldn't try and use that yet. Um, what I would do is literally just try and burn some incense in that area to kind of like seal it off with smoke and just leave it alone for the time being. You can use dragon's blood for that. I haven't worked with Anubis in a while, but Anubis was really cool. Um, very calm and you know uh, very motivational and extremely regal, if that makes sense. I really enjoyed working with Anubis when I did. Well, it's a door, it's a gate. That's a gateway. Lucifer is patient. Yeah, you're welcome. You know who else was really patient too and was really very kind most of the time was Dentalian. Duke Dentalian. Rome was really cool too. No, I haven't. Yeah, they are. Oh, who was crazy. Look at her. Miko, I would approach someone like Barbados. Now, and the reason why I say that, it, the reason why I say Barbados is because literally when I first met him, dude was bird watching. I went into a vision and he was bird watching. Like the whole time I'm like having a conversation, a full blown conversation with him, and he's just watching rare birds out his window. He had a whole study and was just literally sitting there looking at birds outside of the window And he's like, "Oh, this bird is this and this, and they have these kind of qualities. And do you know about this and this and this?" But then I'd ask him questions, and he would literally answer my question and go back to what he's doing. Um, you want to work on cognitive abilities, you want to work with like critical thinking, I would approach someone like Barbados. He'll help you with that. Maltese is really great with those kind of things too. You can work with someone like King Pyman for those kind of things as well. He was great for that kind of stuff. He helped me when it came down to passing tests, when I had difficulty answering certain questions or getting an understanding of certain things. He literally would give me the answers. I'm not gonna lie, like that is how King Pyman was. He would just clairaudiently just give me the answers. I would hear it as like a whisper that like if someone's next to me, they're whispering in my ear. Mephistopheles. I can't say I actually have. I can't say I have. Mm, it's definitely what I work with, and who I work with is very much so an unknown pantheon. A lot of the things that I work with now are unknown, and that the reason why they're unknown is because they don't want to be identified. So I don't publicly discuss who it is that I'm working with. No problem. Have a good one. Thanks for dropping in, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, I can tell you right now. So, you should be working on nuclear sentience. You should be working on how to feel and how to project your aura into and around certain things to detect when there are people, beings, different energies that you don't want around you. That is exactly what it is without that. Is interesting. I was like, mhm. Yeah, yeah. What happened, guys? They, all of them, all of them, all of them have a domain of some sort. They all are connected to it. You in particular, Nancy. He's not one that does things like that. He won't. No, he's not one that'll test you in that way. At least from my experience, I can say that he doesn't do shit like that. He's more the lighter energy kind. Um, his energy is a lot less heavy than the others. He wasn't as tricky, testy as everyone else. He never really experienced trickster stuff. Of course, it's acting up. Of course, it does. Yeah, I'm sure it is acting up. It always does this when I start talking about it for long periods of time. Everybody just got quiet. What happened? Yeah, petition her. Write a petition to her and give her some bread, um, rum, give her candy. Petition her and leave her an offering. Mm, no, Miko, I have not. Because a lot of them, I mean, honestly, for me, this is just me. All right, this isn't. I'm not saying this is anyone else's experience or anything like that. When it came to the social media shit, when it came down to any of this shit, I've always been myself. I've always been the same person. And the reason why I feel like I remain that way is because I don't mix this shit. I don't mix shit together. You know what I mean? I don't mix magics. I don't play both sides. I don't do none of that shit. I stay to one side and I stick to the shit that I know. On top of that, I listen to what the fucking spirits have to say. I pay attention to the warnings and I work with my ego. I work on myself. I work on myself all the time. You know what I'm saying? I know there's people out there that might be doing better than me. There's someone that's fucking bigger than me. There's people who are in more physical shape than me. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of shit out there that you need to realize when it comes down to, you who you are, the content that, if you're a creator, you need to realize like just because you make whatever amount or are very popular when it comes to certain videos, fucking this social media shit, stuff like that. A lot of people don't realize that there's an actual fucking reality to this shit. Like this shit is real life. There's real people behind this shit. And for me, because I think it has a lot to do with where I come from. Why am I just gonna let just because I have all this shit or shit changed for me or I went into a more comfortable space or a comfortable area to live? Why would I change who I am because of the fact that all this shit came as a result of what I do? I'm still gonna be the same fucking person. No, I don't let this shit consume me because then you get into dumb shit with, you get into unnecessary bullshit and situations that you don't even need to be a part of. You get into beef and shit that you don't even need to be a part of. Like you start, you lose a lot of shit as a result of that too. The spirits start to strip you of shit. You feel like no one's better than anyone. You know what I mean? Like everybody is who they are. You're living an individual fucking life in yourself. So you have your own individualism, right? You're your own person. Let go, talk to him, beg him. The doll, use the doll, use the doll. You should have a doll in his inventory. Pull it up and then try to use it before he leaves. Yes, use the doll. See if you can. Oh, no, you fucking can't. He's not high enough level. Damn. I think what ends up happening, like when you're at a certain level, he can play with the doll and it will literally tamper with what he's doing and it'll bring it back. I don't know if he left yet, but you can ask him to. That's because he has the ability as the doll now. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So literally, you should have ghost dolls. You just want to lead a normal life. Is it common? I mean, yeah, if that's what you want to do, you feel like that's what you align with, it's perfectly fine. I feel like, like I was saying, a lot of motherfuckers let this shit get to their head and they get stripped by the spirits. You see a lot of people like, just get their ass whooped by the spirits and they lose their fucking mind because they lose who they are as a result of all the shit that comes with what exactly they, because they get exactly what they ask for. You do get what you ask for, you know? Shit changes for you. Things are better, all that shit. A lot of people want to get fame. A lot of people want to be fucking, want to have a lot of women. A lot of people want to have a lot of friends. Whatever the fuck it is. There's been too many people that I've seen just lose themselves in that shit when they get it because they don't understand that just because you have that shit doesn't mean it don't mean shit. You know, there's still a reality for you to live in. There's still people who have completely different upbringings than you, right? And they're not going to react the same way to how you pretty much. Like, there's going to be a lot of people who aren't going to react the same way to how you are that other people will, right? So you can't just say certain shit or do certain shit or be a certain way to people or just anyone because that's what a lot of people do. This is the reason why I like TikTok. There's a lot of people say and they think they could do and say whatever the fuck they want because they're famous, but you can't do that. You can't do that shit. A lot of shit starts for those specific reasons because people just think that they know everything and they don't want to be wrong or they don't want to admit faults or whatever. Like that is literally the most common fucking reason why so many people get into bullshit and fight and got beef about whatever the fuck because they let this shit get to their head. Never let this shit get to your head because it really, at the end of the day, that shit can be taken away from you in seconds. A lot of motherfuckers, I'm telling you, a lot of motherfuckers that start to just think that they're better than the spirits because they have all this shit. They don't realize that the spirits are the ones who gave this shit to them. Of course, it's acting up. It always acts up in regards to me, like spitting fucking facts. It always does that shit. It's fine. There's a lot of it's a lot of there's just a lot of ego in this shit. There's a lot of people who have big egos in this shit. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people who have big egos in this shit. I mean, hey, he was fucking with shit that he did not truly understand.
I was like cool with him and trying to help him. I was cool with him and trying to fucking help him get an understanding of this shit and literally help him understand that these fucking people that are your followers and all that shit, they are followers. It doesn't mean that you're a fucking god. It doesn't mean that you can do whatever the fuck you want. Yeah, you can't close that fucking door. But you can close that door if you if you understand working with your fucking, if you know yourself. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm trying to say that a lot of motherfuckers don't know their self. They don't know their self, and they think they do, but they really fucking don't. Because they get out here and they get all this fucking family, and they literally think that they can do whatever the fuck they want and say whatever the fuck they want. Motherfuckers don't want to take accountability. They don't want to accept, like, they don't want to fucking be responsible for the shit that they cause. It's a lot of that shit. That's what I mean. When I come down to TikTok, all the social media that I used to be on and shit that I used to do, I left that shit because of the fact that there's so many fucking people who do shit like that. And you get dragged into it. And you into a war with motherfuckers that you don't even know. Or you into it, or you getting fucking pressed by somebody who's actually experienced, who knows what the fuck they're doing, and you literally become an enemy of that person because of the fact that you was associated with somebody else that literally started the shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what goes on in the occult community, which is why I literally sit right here. Like this is why I sit right here and stick to myself. I don't fuck with nobody who I don't fuck with nobody. Really. Not anymore. I only fuck with people who have shown me who they who show me their soul. All this shit has like all this shit is literally it's become a bunch of bullshit. It's always some bullshit, which is why I literally stick to myself. You get fucked up. You get stripped. They do strip your sanity. I'm like going on tangents and shit, going on rants. It's like, bro, this shit is serious. Like I've witnessed motherfuckers literally get into shit with motherfuckers who are from the streets, right? Who are in the occult, but they from the streets and they don't play that shit when it comes down to other people thinking that they could just say and do whatever the fuck they want. They get lost in all that shit. They think that there's somebody that they're not. They think that they can talk or do whatever or whatever the fuck. That's what we talk about. This is shit that people don't talk about. It's shit that people don't get in. It's shit that people don't want to talk about. There's a lot of motherfuckers out here who might be good at whatever, but they definitely you can definitely fucking tell somebody who has not been working on that their ego, you can fucking tell from the jump. You can see that shit. You can see how they carry themselves. You can watch them and tell. And a lot of them will move funny as fuck, which is why like I said, I don't fuck with nobody. I don't be fucking with nobody like that. In the beginning, I was like, yeah, this is really cool, whatever. I want to make all these friends and shit, all that. You know what I'm saying? I had people I look up to. Then I got to know all the people that I looked up to. And there's only a select few of them that literally I still look up to. And there was other ones that came in that I didn't even know that literally are masters of their shit. They stand on their shit. They understand. They help me through a lot of shit. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of them that literally just got there. They're lost in this shit. They're lost in this shit because they think that their shit don't stink. There's a lot of motherfuckers that think their shit don't stink. There's a lot of motherfuckers who just think that literally that they can do whatever the fuck they want. I mean, like when it came down to it, when it came down to TikTok and doing all that shit, it was a matter of like I was having fun. There was a lot of shit that I was having fun, but I was telling stories on that shit. I was still myself 100% of the time. A lot of the shit that I was doing, those dances, all that shit, because that's who I am. But yeah, get lost. Motherfuckers get lost in this shit. Motherfuckers get lost in this shit. They get lost. They lose themselves and they lose their connection to the spirits too. They definitely lose the connection to the spirits because the spirits, they're the ones that end up stripping it the fuck away from them. to stay in that mindset. You don't know shit. There's things that you feel like you do know because you're learning from them, but you're not a master of anything. You don't know shit. You need to keep that mindset. And keep that. You need to live that way. That's just me though. That's how I live my life. That's how I carry myself. I'm not, I'm not everybody else. I'm too but scared. That's who I am. You know, that's how I play my shit. That's how I do my shit. That's how I live my life. I don't, like I said, I don't mix shit. I don't be doing shit like that because I know you play with shit like that and you play with both sides. That shit, that will fuck you up. Yeah, you might be able to play with both sides in regards to the situation because they have very strong ties and connections to each other. But when you get out of pantheons like that and go into shit that's more hidden and people have not discovered and shit like that, they don't interact with humans like that and they don't interact with celestials, it's completely different. I don't got shit to do with VK. I don't got nothing to do with him. I don't want to be talking about him or anything like that. That's a grown ass man with his own life. That's him. What he do is what he does. You know what I'm saying? Like other occultists and shit like that, what they do is what they do. This is this is me. You know what I'm saying? I don't got nothing to do with him. I ain't talking about him. Got nothing to do with him. That's his shit. The decision he's made. The decisions that he makes, the decisions that he makes, the shit he does, what his career is like, whatever. That's him. That's a grown ass man. He's a grown ass man. Hey, that's personally how I feel about all this shit. Like when people be bringing up motherfuckers in like my chat and shit like that, and other cultures, like I mean, it's cool and all that. A lot of motherfuckers have a lot of notoriety. They have books and they have shit that they do. I ain't got shit to do with him, or I don't pay attention to shit that he do. He living his own life. I'm living my own life. Like I'm an individual. You know what I'm saying? Everybody doing their own shit. I am another grown ass man doing my own shit. This is my perspective and the way that I go about doing shit. He will do the shit that he wants to do. That's who he is. He's another grown man. You know what I mean? Like I ain't got nothing to do with him. There's no got shit to do with him. Nothing like that. I don't, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't pay attention to nobody. I don't pay attention to nobody. I don't know. I don't care to know. I just do my shit. I do what I do. Like that's just what it is. What's up? How you doing? Yeah, like this shit. That's what I'm saying. Like I notice a lot. I notice a lot of this shit. On all sorts of different fucking social media platforms, even outside of the occult. There have been people who come to me that wanted to do all types of shit, that are asking the spirits for shit, that wanted to, get famous on YouTube. They want to do this. They want to do shit like that. And it's literally like they don't understand that this shit is not actually reality. It's a facade. It's a facade. This social media, this shit is like people get lost in all this stupid ass shit that literally does not matter at the end of the day. And they want to become these characters, whatever the fuck, you know? I can't even, like, I'm not gonna lie, I've had so many different fucking people who have social media accounts that want to become whatever. And a few big YouTubers that came to me that were like, I want to do this and this and this, and I want the demons to make this happen for me. But they don't really understand how this shit works. And then want to get a pact overturned. You know what I'm saying? Or want to try to walk away because shit's not going the way that they thought it was gonna go. And then I give them warning before, like even before they fucking tell me or pay me for anything, I tell them, I give them plenty of warning on what the fuck to do, how this shit works. That's what I mean. They been live as much as I've been on here like that. This social media shit is like it's social media. It's entertaining. It's like entertaining. I love doing my readings. I love doing all this shit. This is shit that I love to do. You know, it is who I am. But I don't take social media seriously like that. You know, as much as other people do. No problem, Nancy. I'm in the parking lot waiting for a cupcake. That's why you find conflict. I mean, the thing is, honestly, a lot of the time that shit don't even be for no reason. For real. That's what I mean. I was like, because that it's a lot of shit. It's shit that people don't understand. Like, there's motherfuckers that don't get. There's motherfuckers that don't understand that the shit that they do, even if it's something that's minor, other people are not going to take it as being minor because they come from somewhere completely different. You know what I mean? That shit has that. That's exactly the fucking that has been happening. That's what I've been watching. I've watched so many motherfuckers go to war because another motherfucker has some kind of fucking level of fame and think that they can say or do whatever the fuck they want. Then they get to someone who has been doing this shit for fucking 30 plus years that really is about that shit, that really knows what the fuck they're talking about. Then they get into conflicts and they fighting about it because this other person is saying, oh, well, I'm, I'm working on this and this and this, and I work with this or so and so, and I do this to work with it. And this person who's been working with it for 30 years is like, well, this is a family tradition of mine, and you need to be initiated in this and this and this, right? Like close practices. You need to be invited or you need to be initiated into this and this and this. And then there's another person who literally probably just started like a year ago. Got a lot of faith because a lot of people just love shit that's shiny. You know what I mean? Like, people love shit that's shiny. So when you're starting to get notoriety, you're starting to get fucking a little bit of a buzz, a little bit of fame, people are gonna fucking come to you and they pump your head up. There are too many motherfuckers on TikTok that are like that. They get their head pumped up and people fucking follow them like cults. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's a lot of what the fuck happens. And the same person who's arguing with the motherfucker who has true experience, who's a true master in their shit, literally does not want to accept the fact that they may have actually offended somebody and they didn't even talk about it. Like, and they didn't ask that person how they felt about the shit that they said, you know? Or they didn't ask that person, hey, are you cool with me being like this? Because if you're not cool, of course it's going to be enough. Is that better? Can you hear me? Put a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay. But there's a lot of shit. Like, it's different. Everybody's different. You can't just say or do whatever the fuck you want. Everyone is different. Everyone has a different upbringing, a different practice, whatever. It's all going to differ when it comes down to everybody. So the shit you say goes a long, it goes a long fucking way. That shit will go a long way. It might find the ears of the wrong person. And you said some shit that's not offensive to somebody else because where they come from, that shit is offensive. You might say it in a joking way, but because they come from this area and that shit is serious to them, well, that shit is serious to them. There's a lot of street shit in the occult. There's a lot of street politics and shit like that that motherfuckers don't understand. So there are a good amount of people that street that are in the occult that are a higher level that have more experience in that shit. And you could say one wrong thing, and
that shit is offensive to them because that's not what that shit's just not how they get down. But when it comes down to addressing people like that, you gotta understand that you just can't say whatever the fuck you want. This social media shit makes people feel like they can say and do whatever the fuck they want. And people bring it all to social media. Like it's just gonna fucking save the day. Or like the people who are behind the screens or on the computers are gonna do anything for you. Um, I think that they're pawns. That's how I personally feel about it. Because there's not one that I can actually name that is mainstream or well known that actually really truly does know or understand this shit. Because if they did, they wouldn't be public with the shit. No, no, I don't. I don't think they. I don't think they are. I think they might think that they do fuck with it, but they. And Anon, I don't know who you are personally, but when it comes down to things like that, if you're going to be working with a certain, energy, or you're working with a certain pantheon, or you're working more with the left-hand path, that guilt is a weakness. That that's a fact. So that's something that you want to work on and get rid of. Go into it. Maybe get an understanding as to why you feel guilty. It could probably be an outside influence as to why you feel guilty. So I would I would probably lean into that and try and get a breakdown of it to understand why you feel guilty about it. Because what exactly is the reason why you feel guilty? Who made you feel guilty? What is the ideology behind that specific guilt that you're feeling? But yeah, Matthias, I think a lot of them think that they do, right? I think a lot of them think that they do, but they don't. Because if you listen to the shit that they say, like you listen to the music, especially in this day and age now, you listen to the shit that they say, you listen to the shit that they do, you listen to the female rappers, right? You listen to hey, I understand, but if you feel drawn and you want to work with this, you do not want to be connected to that. You, you don't. You want to choose one or the other. If you feel guilt and you feel like you want to let that go, um, I would definitely look into why you feel that guilt around those specific things. Well, because your that religion, this shit does not mix well with that religion at all. No, no, it doesn't, and it won't, and it's going to cause conflict, and it's going to be. I see it too much. That shit's bad. You don't want to fucking. You don't want to mix that. I don't even know who that is, Matthias. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't even know who that is. Yeah, the reason why you can't mix it is literally in the scriptures of that particular religion. Look into it. Look, read it. Read the book. Read the Quran. It'll tell you.
What's up, Harold? How are you doing? Yeah, for real. Shit's tough. Hmm. Cool. I mean, you might feel that guilt because of the fact that that's all you've known. That's all that's been taught to you, especially, because in that particular religion, for sure, it's ingrained in you as a child. So you're taught that from a very young age, and it stays with you. And the ideals and the ways that the men think in that particular religion, and the way that you treat women, the way you see women, the way that you interact with the world around you is completely different and aligned to that particular religion. Personally, me, I don't really, I think that that shit is extreme. Well, because he does not align with that stuff. Well, yeah, it is like you're going back and forth because that's a god, you know. That is a god that does not like for their followers to venture off into other things that they consider connected to their enemy. All of this shit is all of the shit is exactly that. That's the reason why I say like this shit is serious. Like mixing this shit is gonna get you into like eventually you getting into it with gods. You're not just about to be dealing with like low level rank motherfuckers. You're gonna end up getting into it with actual gods of specific pantheons when you move further further away or far away enough. So yeah, they're gonna clash because they do not get along. And that particular religion, that one specifically does not get along with the energies of the left hand path whatsoever. I mean, I don't want to say too much in the public, but that one in particular is extreme. So you playing with your life with that. So that's why I'm saying you wanna either work with one or you wanna work with the other one. There's no in between with that one. People are killed every day in countries that are heavily, devoted to that particular religion for practicing things other than what it is that their belief is supposed to be, or what they believe their belief is supposed to be. So you wanna be careful with that. Be very cautious. I don't know how old you are, um, but be cautious with that shit. Be careful. Be careful for real. Okay. When it comes down to it, you want to just make sure that you know that you want to do this, right? You know you want to do this, but you're gonna have to eventually put one down because they conflict and they clash hard. Oh, there's hard repercussions with Christianity too. That's just because there's a lot of people who can't see what's going on behind the scenes. Like people just can't see like the actual. There, there is a lot of shit that happens behind the scenes that people don't realize or can't see.
I'm telling you right now, there are very, very harsh repercussions that you just don't understand yet when it comes down to being Christian and fucking working with this shit. Because trust me, they punish their followers. People, they are warring. They are warring. Like it literally, it is a war. In Christianity, the energies are just far more like they're far more concealed and slick than other religions. They're very slick. They're very concealed when it comes down to an attack that they will do on someone who's like trying to venture out or go to another fucking system of belief. Like it's secretive. You have to be able to actually see that shit. A lot of these spirits. That's what I'm saying. This is like I don't say this shit for no reason. A lot of the shit that I say is literally like it's real. I've watched it happen. I watch people get destroyed as a result of fucking with two things at one time, or fucking with shit that they're not ready for, things like that. Like you gotta, if you can't see the spirits and you can't communicate with them, especially if you can't communicate with like the gods, and you're doing this shit and you're playing both sides, you can really get fucked up. You can get fucked up as a result of it, because there's a lot of bloodshed behind this shit. There's a lot of shit that is not really in the public when it comes down to these things. Like you gotta really fucking, you gotta have a better understanding. I mean, I don't know, Dink. I don't know. I just know how I go about doing shit. I'm just telling you from my perspective and how I go about doing shit. How I personally go about doing shit and how I live my life. Everybody's gonna make their own decisions and do shit their own way, but I don't play both sides. I play one thing, and if I'm fucking with one pantheon, I fuck with one pantheon. Period. That's it. If I'm working with, if I'm working with multiple energies that are in the same pantheon, that's fine. But I don't go jumping through working with multiple pantheons or mixed religions and shit like that. Like this shit, because I'm telling you, there's subtle shit that people don't realize. There's subtle shit that will happen to you and patterns that end up developing as a result of you doing certain shit. And you'll see it in certain people because there's constant it's shit that will consistently happen all the time. It'd be like one thing that is common with one particular person or a situation or just bad shit that happens to that person in general. That shit is, I'm telling you, this shit is like, it's a lot different than people actually think. It's a lot more real than people think. That's just the reason why I warn people and tell them that this shit is not a game. Like, it's not. It's not anything to play with. It's not. Somewhere down the line, you're choosing a side. You will. Well, that's exactly how they are. What do they call that shit? What you're doing would be considered. I don't know what they call it in Muslim culture. Haram. Isn't that what they call it? That it's you're sinning in the eyes of that particular god. This is why, especially if you're working with the jinn, the fuck they're at war. They've been at war for the longest with that particular god that rules over that religion. People get killed for fucking with them. Like that, people
People fucking die every day for fucking with the jinn and trying to venture out into other territories of practice or belief or whatever. Those monotheistic religions, they don't play that shit. And the gods and the fucking beings that are within them, or the ones that are under them, they don't play that shit. You could think, you can think that, oh yeah, I'm gonna work with this, I'm gonna work with this. If they're in alignment, you can work with them. But if they're not in alignment, you can't work with that shit. That that you're doing, I'm telling you, they will fuck you up. So be careful, especially with him. Because like I said, he's one of the ones you came in after. He's one of the ones that will watch you get fucked up because you don't understand what you're doing. He watches. So sorry to be going on tangents and shit, but it's this shit is different. It's different. It's different than a lot of people actually think it is. This shit is more deep than people realize. It's not. This ain't shit to play with. These spirits aren't toys. These aren't toys. These aren't friends. These aren't anything like that. These are fucking actual gods that have existed for long fucking periods of time, for eons. Like they have been existing forever, and they've been at war forever. So be careful. My shit's dying, so I'm about to end this shit. But I'm gonna leave you with that. They're mocking you because they're trying to tell you that going and playing with this shit, especially with being coming up with a background like that, that this shit gets serious. Well, that's exactly what they'll do. But they're probably actually, in a way, being there for you. Like that's what I mean. They'll talk shit to you and they'll tell you things about yourself in regards to things that you do, especially if it's backward, or if there's patterns connected to what you're doing that don't make any sense, or shit that causes conflict in you that doesn't make sense, or things that can bring trouble. He will fuck with you. They will fuck with you, which is what they're doing. And what do they call it? Temptation? They're tempting you through, your words. Like, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Through your actions, through what you're doing. They just they call it how they see it. And they speak the truth. They will always speak facts. Like they're truthful. You're not gonna see me fucking with nothing that I don't fuck with. You're not gonna see me fuck with anybody that I don't fuck with. You're not gonna see me mixing a goddamn thing at all. Because that's just how I go about doing shit. I see and interact with too many different fucking beings that are connected to shit that opposes other fucking practices that I used to be, that I like used to study or I used to be a fucking part of. That shit is not cool. And they're not cool with you leaving and doing shit that is opposed to what they do, or you fucking in cahoots with who literally are their enemies. There is so much shit that people don't understand, especially when they don't leave and go into other planes. Like this shit is serious. I'm telling you, you gotta watch out. This shit is it's nothing. It's nothing to play with. It ain't shit sweet about this shit. What do you mean? They work with that particular god. They work with the god that rules over that or over that religion.
I don't even know where my fucking charger is. But I'm gonna let you guys go. Have a good one, guys.